Hello and welcome to the big picture. With patience among the claimants for a separate Telangana almost running out, the centre finally convened an all-party meeting here today. With the Home Minister Sushil Kumar Shinde announcing that a decision will be taken within a month, hopes are renewed about the demand being exceeded. However, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti is not happy with the outcome of the talks and has called for a state-level bandh in Andhra Pradesh. However, there are certain quarters in the Congress and outside who feel that finally the Congress leadership seemed to be coming around to the view that a separate Telangana was inevitable. But Congress leaders from non-Telangana region continue to oppose it, while the CPIM and MIM made their opposition to the demand once again today at the meeting. The Telugu Desam, BJP and CPI on the other hand have supported the separation demand by and large. Does it mean that the end game on the long pending issue is finally around the corner? What will be the repercussions in the coming days? How will the people of non-Telangana areas react? We will discuss all this today with J.D.Seelam, Congress MP from Rajya Sabha, who belongs to the non-Telangana region, Commander Uday Bhaskar, Senior Fellow at the National Maritime Foundation, will be joining us soon. We have Sudhir, T.S. Sudhir, a senior journalist in Hyderabad on the phone line with us. We'll also be joined by Parsa Venketeshwar soon. Before we start the discussion, let's hear what TRS Chief K.Chandrshekara had to say after the all-party meeting.
Today, Home Minister called for an all-party meet to discuss the issue of separate state of Telangana. To discuss more on the issue, I have been joined by Mr. K.C. Rao. Mr. Rao, what was discussed in the meeting?
See, these kind of meetings were held so many times by the Congress party, by the UPA government, but nothing came out. I am totally disappointed with today's meeting. Just nothing has come out. No roadmap declared, nothing declared. Just he says within a month we will take a decision. What kind of decision is going to be, nobody knows, God knows. So that's where we are not able to believe this government unless it very clearly comes forward to give away Telangana, Hyderabad as its capital.
What were the areas of disagreement and what were the areas of agreement, if there were any?
See, there was no agreement at all. See, if they called for this all-party meeting, they know the date, people are coming, they would have already prepared with a roadmap, isn't it? Nothing like that. They're simply calling us, hearing us within 1 hour and closing down the meeting, saying something to the media. This has been happening for the last 9 years, For the last 9 years, we are experiencing this with the UPA government.
As per you, what might be the reason for delaying the decision on Telangana?
It's a thick-skinned government. It has no respect for the people's aspiration, democratic aspiration. That's the reason, nothing more.
But there are some people who say that smaller states are not economically viable. What do you have to say on this thing?
Telangana is not going to be a small state. It will be a bigger state than the existing 16 states. Then which fool says that Telangana is going to be a small state?
And the second thing, there is a threat of Naxal takeover. Is it? What is your sense on it?
It is also a senseless, baseless, mindless argument. Naxalism is a bitter experience of the people of Telangana and it will never repeat in Telangana. If at all there is Naxalism in Andhra Pradesh, that is only in the AOB, Andhra Orissa border. It's a zero in Telangana.
But there are some other minority parties. They oppose the creation of Telangana, or they call for royal Telangana. So that's they are not reduced to further minority. What do you have to say on this thing?
See, question of minorities or majority, that is not the question. Telangana, as recommended by Mr. Fazal Ali, we want that Telangana, nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. Mr. Chandrasekhar Rao taking a hard line as usual. He doesn't seem to be convinced with what happened in the meeting today. Seelam, coming to you, there has been opposition to this demand from within the Congress. Congress itself, at least Andhra Pradesh Congress itself is divided about this. But today, after today's meeting, there was some hopes among the Telangana MPs of the Congress party. Do you think that the Congress High Command and the Congress leadership is finally coming around to the view that giving Telangana is an inevitable thing?
Girish, I think there are 2-3 issues. Today's meeting is mainly called to elicit the opinion of the stakeholders. political leaders, basically. This is a follow-up meeting of what Ms. Chidambaram continued. After the Sri Krishna Commission was constituted, all-party meeting was called, and then they were given the copies of the report, and they were asked to express their opinions.
Right.
After that, it was almost 2 years back. Then nothing happened. Both the sides started meeting the leaders in Delhi, various political parties. I think a Congress party and the government of India, they thought, enough is enough. We would like to consult the stakeholders once again and take an appropriate view. I think that is the aim of the meeting today organized by the Home Ministry. And I am sure Mr. KCR knows that this is not called to declare any decision, take a decision or decide on the table whether to go this way or that way. I
Okay.
think that's not the
Absolutely.
mood. We have to.
That's not the mood.
We have to be clear on our, when we discuss. Yes.
So Seelam, you belong to a non-Telangana region. You are one of those people who have been having some reservations about this demand. Do you think that the Congress party is anywhere near coming around to the view that a separate Telangana is necessary?
No, I can't tell you offhand the view, but I can tell you the Congress party has to take certain factors into consideration, various factors. It's not as a simple decision. It would have been definitely taken. You see, both the Telangana the Congress members of Parliament from Telangana region have been making their plea for a long time. In fact, they are representing and reflecting the sentiments of the people. After especially arising out of the 9th December statement.
Yes.
In fact, nobody, including Ms. Chandrasekhar or any of our Congress MPs, any of our Congress leaders, for that matter, any party leader would have expected that statement. Even that statement, I tell you, to be frank with you,
Yes.
it's not a decision. It is only an announcement saying that the process will begin with a resolution in the Assembly. That is the statement.
resolution.
It has to be read
Seelam,
in completeness.
yes,
That's what I would like to.
No, Seelam, I see the underlying message which you are trying to send there. The Home Minister, the then Home Minister Chidambaram's December 9 statement, which has created all these things. That's what you people think. Anyway, let me go to T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad. Sudhir, what is the mood in Hyderabad today after the all-party meeting? Is there any kind of optimism among the Congress MPs and the Congress MLAs there about about the outcome of the meeting?
Well, right from the beginning, they were not very optimistic that this meeting would really yield anything. By that yardstick, keeping that as a benchmark, the Congress MPs who were there in Delhi today seem to be quite happy with what has achieved, because
Yes.
they see the 1-month deadline that the Home Minister Sushil Kumar Shinde has set for himself and the UPA government as some kind of a time frame within which some kind of decision can be arrived at.
Yes.
The crucial timing will be that of the Jaipur Chintan Shivar, where some crucial decisions could be taken. At least that's the feeling among politicians, especially the Congress leaders here in Andhra Pradesh, that some crucial decisions pertaining to Telangana could be taken in Jaipur. And that would be very, very critical, whether it will involve an overall of the state government and the party leadership here in Andhra Pradesh, and what kind of decision it decides to take on Telangana. Now that the Union Home Minister has come forward and said that by 28th of January there will be some kind of decision taken, now that's a deadline that he will have to stick to. Given the fact that the Telugu Desam has also decided a little pro-Telangana kind of mood now,
Yes.
given the fact that they are saying that they will go by the January 2008 letter which they had given to Pranab Mukherjee. That is also being watched with interest as to what is the kind of repercussions that the Telugu Desam leadership will have to face as a result of this kind of a new stance that they have taken.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Sudhir, you think that that today's outcome is something which the Congress MPs think that it is positive?
Well, the Congress MPs on record, they think it is positive. But when I was speaking to some of the TDP leaders as to what kind of an impact do they think it will have on their party, while they are a little circumspect about what kind of a political repercussions it could have in coastal Andhra and Rayalaseema region,
Right.
They also say that they know that nothing is going to really materialize. And they say that their confidence of taking such a pro-Telangana stance stems from the fact that they know that nothing is going to materialize. So they might as well try to gain political capital in Telangana as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. See, let me go to Commander Uday Bhaskar. Uday Bhaskar normally is somebody who talks on issues of security and things like that. But today he's here as somebody who hails from the state of Andhra Pradesh. Uday Bhaskar, you know, as somebody who is not involved in this process closely, you know, somebody as an outsider, but somebody who hails from the state. How do you see what is happening? How do you see today's meeting? How do you see the run-up to today's meeting, and how do you see the reactions to what happened today?
Well, I would say that the conclusion of today's meeting was along fairly predictable lines.
Yes.
Meaning that the Home Minister had called for this all-party meeting, as has already been pointed out, to really, I think, do a kind of stock-taking and speak to the individual parties on what I would call as to personal basis, and he is after all assumed charge recently. So to that extent, I think the positions of each of the parties are reasonably familiar, and I don't think anybody, I mean, as you rightly said, some of us are looking at this entire Telangana issue very closely. Nobody expected that there would be any radical decision. What the meeting has done, I think, is to bring the Telangana issue back onto the radar. Definitely as far as the Congress party is concerned, because this whole thing started, as you rightly pointed out, when Mr. Chidambaram was the Home Minister. And not that this issue started with Mr. Chidambaram. After all, there is a very complex history as far as the Telangana demand or the issue is concerned, which some of us will recall actually goes back to the mid-50s. So to that extent, I think today's meeting brings it back onto the radar. But personally, you know, Girish, I do not see that the resolution is going to come about in any swift manner. This is going to be a very complex process. We have only heard one side, you know, from Mr. Chandrashekara Rao. But there are equally, I would say, strong views about why this would not be such a prudent decision to actually accept the demand for a separate state, purely because development indicators and regional identity aspirations have not been adequately met. I may be at the risk of opening a Pandora's box here, but I do feel that it's unlikely to have any swift resolution. Girish?
Uday Bhaskar, so you are not too confident that there's going to be any swift resolution. But, you know, what is your personal view as an observer, as an analyst, as somebody who knows the state? Do you think that the separation is something which has to happen, or, you know, is it something avoidable?
I would personally, and I think I may be, you know, at the risk of perhaps treading on the toes of my friends and my very dear friends who have a different position on Telangana. I personally, and for a very long time, have been of the view that acceding or accepting the demand for a separate state and dividing Andhra, composite Andhra as we know it today, would not have the desired effect. I am not for it. I am not persuaded by the kind of logic that has been advanced. And my principal sort of consideration is that if we talk about the people of Telangana who have, you know, been deprived of various opportunities for decades, the suggestion that a new state and the political formation that is ostensibly speaking for them would be the answer. As an analyst, I would say with all the conviction that I can bring to bear, that it does not, I think, really, it's not as persuasive and not, shall we say, as acceptable in terms of the solution to the problem. So that is the reason why I personally am not in favor of the hasty decision to create a Telangana state.
Hasty decision, Parsa? Uday Bhaskar thinks it's a hasty decision if it is to be made. And but today's meeting, from whatever you must have also found out and heard, there seemed to have been, there was some interesting conversation which happened in the meeting apparently, where all other party members wanted to know what is the Congress stand on this. And the Congress representative, one of the representatives, Suresh Reddy, is supposed to have said that we are in favor of 2 states, and which the Home Minister is supposed to have repeated. So how do you see all these things?
You know, for a long time, Congress has been trying to defer a definite decision on Telangana, because I think the Congress High Command...
3 years now.
For 3 years now? No,
Yes.
for the last...
No, at least from the last...
yeah, that is true. But the last 50 years,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
69, they have been trying to defer because they are not convinced that there is a case for Telangana and that the problems can be sorted out otherwise. So what the Congress tries to do is to push it on the decision making to other people. They are speaking in very strictly technical terms, that the Andhra Assembly has to pass a resolution,
Right.
that all the parties have come to some sort of a consensus, and unless that happens, and you know, in the Andhra Assembly, the Telangana MPs do not have the majority.
Right.
So they need the support of MLAs from the other regions to support the resolution.
Right.
Both in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, the resolutions were passed unanimously for Uttarakhand as well as for Jharkhand. Now, that kind of a situation is difficult in Andhra Assembly as of now, and given the party positions. So, unless people are brought around to that view. So, I think Congress is somewhere playing the technical game correctly, saying, look, this you have to cross the hurdle before we can take a decision.
But Parsa, today the TDP stand, as Sudhir was pointing out, is very interesting. They have almost virtually said that we are in favor of Telangana.
You know, both TDP and Congress have been
playing the same games?
Are playing the same games, and they have been doing a flip-flop sort of thing. Depending on the mood on the ground, they try to play, with by the ear sort of thing. I think what Uday Bhaskar has said is rather rational, saying enough arguments have not been put forward, persuasive arguments that they should be Telangana. Now, what is happening is we are now dependent on 2 or 3 groups, parties, which are vocally demanding Telangana. We do not know the popular opinion as such, because there is just no way of knowing it. The Congress fear...
But on the ground, what we have seen in the last 2-3 years, when things had really reached a boiling point at some point of time.
They reached a boiling...
And do you think that they are not the actual, mood of the people there?
It does not seem to be.
If you talk to any of the politicians in Telangana, they say that it's very evident that you can't do anything else.
No, if you speak to the politicians, they say that that there is no going back on this issue, that you have to go forward. If you look at the parties who are vocalizing it, I mean the agitation groups, either the Telangana Rashtra Samiti or the other committees which are on the ground.
The Joint Action Committee.
Yeah, Joint Action Committee. Both of them do not seem to command. You know, if they were to win an election, say if we were to do a referendum, which we do not have, I'm not too sure whether these people can carry the day.
That is very interesting. I mean, on that score, we need to go into a short break, but we will come back and discuss this. Whether actually this demand is only politician induced or certain pressure groups induced, or is it really widespread? We will discuss this. We need to go into a short break now. Please keep watching. We'll be back soon. Welcome back. We are discussing whether the end game on Telangana is around the corner. Before we resume the discussion, let us have a look at what the Home Minister Sushil Kumar Shinde said after the meeting today.
Meeting of entire Andhra Pradesh was called on Telangana issue. The Chief Minister was also present. The total 8 parties of the state represented by 2 members each from each party. Meeting was very cordial, and everyone expressed their views. We have noted it down, and some of the representative express that the decision should be given as early as possible. And some people said, you see, that it should be 1 month. And the today's meeting, I heard carefully. From all the parties. I'll brief on this issue to the government, and within 1 month will come out with the result.
Okay. So, Seelam, it's very 1 month. He has given, your Home Minister has given himself 1 month's time. This is something which has not happened in the past. And within 1 month's time, a decision either way needs to be reached. You think now the Congress party has no more excuses to delay anymore, to delay the decision anymore?
No, Girish, there is no excuse. Earlier also, no, Congress party, definitely it's a positive message that within 1 month we will come to one solution, because it's a long pending. The state government, state of Andhra Pradesh has lost so much in terms of economy, educationally, socially. It's a disturbed state, and we used to compete with other important states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka in all our industrial input issues. We have somehow there is a feeling investments are not to the extent being attracted. I think we'll have to revive that environment. And India, Andhra Pradesh people are very, very enterprising, and we don't want to lose that advantage. And I think 1 month is a very good welcoming step.
Seelam,
we expect to take some, positive outcome. Yeah.
Seelam, when you say that, we'll have to revive that situation and things like that, you're obviously saying that, it should be revived as a unified state and not as a divided state. Is that what you are saying?
No, Girish, I can't take a decision right now. I wish I could. But my point is, the Congress party and the government have to take a broader view of the entire nation, have any repercussions, at the same time keeping the sensibilities of the Telangana people. After all, I'm a Congress worker hailing from one region. There are Congress people, Congress party is equally looking at them. We need a party has to look similarly. There are certain other areas, but different parts of the country, we have to look at the repercussions.
Okay.
I think the party will look at all these issues,
yes. Okay.
take a balanced view.
Okay.
Maybe, the Telangana issue, I know it is a very separate, it can be viewed separately. All that we have heard Sudhir saying, and especially Uday Bhaskar, from a different perspective. We have to look at it from various angles.
Okay.
Just like, I can't talk like K.C.R. It's a sub-regional party. I can't talk like Telugu Desam. It's a regional party. I'm a national party. The national party has to carry the people of this nation while taking a crucial decision. I'm sure all that will go into the input of the think tank and will come out with, if not unanimous, what is called the consensus decision would be arrived at.
Okay, Seelam. Sudhir, the issue, it's a very tricky thing for somebody like Seelam coming from the non-Telangana region. They are all very opposed to this demand, but they have to sound reasonable here. You think that the Congress MLA, whether it's MLAs, MPs, or leaders from Telangana region of the Congress party, you think if this demand is not met, what will be their fate according to you? What is your reading of the situation?
Well, Girish, the Congress will be very, very badly hit. In fact, a very, very senior leader of the Congress belonging to the coastal Andhra region told me just 2 days back that the Congress today is restricted to between Guntur and Visakhapatnam and Srikakulam, Vizianagaram.
Yes.
That's the kind of extent of the Congress power in the state is what he was referring to. He said Telangana, because of sentiment, the Congress is a washout. Rayalaseema, YSRC of Jagan Mohan Reddy is gaining in strength. But having said that, 3 quick points. Sushil Kumar Shinde, if you would remember, called this meeting under extreme duress because the Telangana MPs of the Congress were saying no meeting on Telangana, no vote on FDI. So the Union Home Ministry and the government was virtually pushed into calling this meeting. Otherwise, they really did not wish to do that. Number 2, whether Congress will take a positive decision on Telangana will depend on a couple of other factors. Whether it really helps them in the elections. It will really depend on whether the Congress MPs and MLAs, if they are renominated for election, will they win from their own constituencies. Also remember, there are 10 years of anti-incumbency. So how will that play out is another thing which the Congress leadership will take into account. So it will be a very cold, calculated and a very self-serving political decision that will be taken by the Congress and really not taking into account how much sentiment is on the ground. Yes,
Okay.
there is a strong sentiment which is very emotional, which is strong in some districts, perhaps not so strong in other districts. But having said that, they will have to respect what Telangana sentiment is all about. Otherwise, the Congress is definitely likely to be hit electorally as far as the Telangana region is concerned.
Okay, Sudhir, that's a very interesting and good perspective you have given us. Uday Bhaskar, very quickly, you think, if the Congress party, as an observer again, as an outsider, an observer, analyst, you think Congress party can take this risk of not, acceding to this demand?
Girish, I can only hope that whatever decision the Congress takes as a party
Yes,
would not be an opportunistic decision.
yes,
Because I think Sudhir made a very valid point
Yes.
when he said that some of these calculations could become self-serving.
right,
Now, the decision to divide Andhra
yes,
will have very, very serious long-term implications from my perspective as an analyst. And I would also submit that there is an underlying security dimension here
Okay.
as far as the internal security of the country is concerned.
Okay.
So my only submission is that whatever decision the Congress takes would not be opportunistic, and it would really look at the big picture in a far more objective way and not be driven by the electoral compulsions which are, shall we say, distinctive in Andhra at this point in time.
Okay.
Girish?
Parsa, quickly, you think Congress has tied itself in a knot by giving itself this 1 month deadline?
Yeah, it has tied itself in a knot, and I don't think it will be able to do anything in a month's time.
Okay. On that score, we will have to end this discussion. December 9th was a statement made by one Home Minister which has put the entire UPA government, Congress, had tied itself up in knots. And today also, they seem to have maybe tied itself in another knot, which will be difficult to untie. We'll wait and watch what will be the outcome of all these things in the next 1 month, after a month's time. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my guests, Uday Bhaskar, T.S. Sudhir, J.D.Seelam, Parsa Venketeshwar. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on the big picture same time tomorrow.